In this video, I headed south into southwest Arkansas and then East Texas after spending some time exploring and camping in Missouri. Both southwest Arkansas and East Texas have a lot of reported Sasquatch encounters, and likely as many or more that aren't reported. If you haven't watched my videos, I tent camp full-time and camp in areas known for Sasquatch activity, or as close as I can when possible. I'd love to hear your suggestions if you're familiar with any areas I'm exploring. Driving through Arkansas here. Looks like some legitimate mountains off in the distance. It seems like different places you go, they have different definitions of mountains, and these look more like what I would consider mountains, not just hills. Yeah, those look, that's pretty cool. So I am pretty close. I'm on like the last road and we barely have any cell signal here. I am in southwest Arkansas, a little bit south of Mena, Arkansas, not too far from southeast Oklahoma, where I've heard lots of Sasquatch encounters. But yeah, apparently some people not too long ago in 2024 had an experience here, hoping to actually go to the same campsite that they were at and spend a couple days and see what happens. Oh, look at this. Definitely off the beaten path now. Nice. And Mena, Arkansas is actually near where a pretty well-known experience happened, where a man he had logs roll over him, and then said he was saved by a Sasquatch. That story's been around, so a lot of you might have heard of that, but that isn't too far away from where I'm at either. Couldn't really ask for much of a nicer day. Where I just was up north in Missouri, it was getting down below freezing, and during the day it was in the 30s. Right now it's in the 50s here, so. And nice and sunny and calm today at least. I guess we're going up a little ways, that's cool. I don't know if you consider this a hill or a mountain, but we're up a little ways. Beautiful view right here, wow. You know, I look at the landscape, I mean, this is just a small part of it, and people wonder, where would the Sasquatch hide? Just look at that. That's just one little tiny segment of Arkansas. It's crazy. So I have set up camp. Sun is gonna be down in a little while. This is right next to camp. I'm gonna go check out over there at some point. A bunch of rocks. I don't know if there's waterfalls or it's just rapids or what. Nice. It's gonna be different here when the sun goes down. It's beautiful though. The report that I heard, they talked about seeing eye glow down here by the water. And it is pretty much dark now. That's all I can see with this. Moon and the star. You can hear the falls. It's a nice background sound. Be nice to sleep to that tonight. We'll see what happens. Here's somebody right in front of me here. Can't say what it is for sure though. But someone is right in front of me. Definitely can hear me. And they're not running away. I'm looking in that direction. I'm thinking that's a raccoon. What is that? It's right there. Okay, it's a possum. Or an armadillo, look at that. Okay. There he goes. He's just hanging out right across from me there. See ya. Just about dark. Spent one night here so far in southwest Arkansas. Last night was really quiet. I heard one little coyote sound and that is it. No wildlife whatsoever. It was pretty mild too, like in the 50s, high 40s at night. I don't know if that's normal or what, but I didn't really hear anything last night that I even thought could possibly be Sasquatch or anything like that. And there's lots of nights like that too. So we'll see. Tonight's a little bit calm. It's supposed to rain later. See what happens. Pretty much all I noticed yesterday, I had to head out and come back just before dusk. And I saw quite a few deer. And one other thing I noticed, there were some campers down the end. And I saw them kept shining their flashlight out in the woods. So I wondered if they were hearing something. Could have been the armadillo or something else, but if it was something else around them, it was very quiet around me. I want to see you. Here's the recording of the single owl call that I heard, and also some pretty crazy thunder. After 2 nights in Arkansas, once again, cold weather was on the way. So next I headed to East Texas. First impressions, pretty flat and big open sky, and lots of forest. There's never a guarantee of Sasquatch activity. I just hope to increase the chances by camping near reported experiences. Well, I'm in East Texas, Northeast Texas. A lot of it looks like this. There's a lot of reports that I see on the Bigfoot mapping project all around here. Well, it's pretty flat down here. And It's some nice roads, nice smooth roads. You can tell they don't get crazy winters down here. I wasn't sure how flat it was, because I know I've been to some places like South Carolina. I was surprised how rugged it was. Setting up camp and the sun just came out. Let's see if we can get there we go. Got that, whatever moss from being down south. Different trees and stuff, it's pretty cool. Do you hear some birds? Or near water. I feel like that can help with stuff at night. Well, first night in Texas. I'm pretty sure I'm hearing frogs. It's really windy, so I don't think I'm gonna have a fire. It's not too cold tonight. It's gonna cool down, but just before the sun goes down. Surprised I can see this well. Sometimes I swear when it's almost dark, the phone looks totally dark. It's pretty cool though. I think the frogs are gonna be going away because we have some freezing weather coming. Oh, it is cool. I'm wondering if I can see this way. Oh no. I wish I could see here because it's crazy looking. It's all foggy. I go back to the moon, I can see that. So I've been out here in this forest for a little while out in Texas. It's been pretty quiet, although I did pick up some howls on a couple nights. And then I heard some, sounded just like coyotes on one night, and then I was noticing that the howls seemed a little different. They could all be coyotes, but kind of interesting. As I've said in a previous video, I pay attention to the coyote sounds because a lot of people talk about an association with Sasquatch and coyotes. But I wanted to get out and drive through this crazy fog. It's wild. Honestly, don't know what I would do if I saw something jump out in front of me in this fog. I'd like to think I'd be, oh wow, that's cool, but I don't know. Might freak out a little bit. This is actually the view from the campground that I've been at for just a little bit over a week. Here's a couple of the howls that I recorded. I stood out a little bit, and something moved quick in the brush right nearby. Not sure what that was, but here's that as well. Definitely plenty of forest out here in East Texas. One thing I haven't seen a lot of where I am is like structure type stuff. Some people say a lot of the stuff is natural, and maybe it is. But it's funny when you see certain areas where there's pretty much none of it going on. Out here, these 2-lane roads are 70 miles an hour. I guess it kind of makes sense since when you're in Texas, it takes like a day to cross the state. went through quite a ways where it was just forest. I didn't see any houses. But I have heard that this area that I'm heading to now is pretty interesting. There's a few people that said that they've had experiences here, so looking forward to this one. Well, I'm like a mile out from my destination. Kind of looking to the side here and there to see if I see anything cool out in the woods, maybe some arches or anything like that. But yeah, a few people said they've had experiences where I'm going, so I did look the last place I was for a week, and there wasn't anything too close. I mean, anywhere in East Texas there's something, it seems, but nothing really close by where I was. It's definitely different down here. I guess it's a little bit like Florida, but every place is different. It's kind of cool. Most of where I've been so far in Texas has been pretty flat. This looks interesting though. There's a body of water near the campground, so I feel like activity often happens near bodies of water, so hopefully that'll mean something. Yeah, not a lot of arches or anything like that, but who knows, does that always mean something? Maybe, maybe not. This is what the forest looks like really close to the campground. There is a broken tree there. Well, I'm on my first Texas hike. I haven't seen much as far as possible structures. Here's a nice arched tree. You could say it came down from that, but I haven't really seen much of anything, so figured I'd capture this. Strangely, right after that, I'm seeing a number of arched trees right in this little spot, like that little one there, and then in through that where I'm facing, there's some other small ones. It's kind of archy looking a little bit, but also right over here, there's one. It's kind of cool. Could they be structures? Maybe. Take a note. There's in this nice sand along the creek, so I'm keeping an eye out for prints. The trail follows it a little bit here and there. Here we are in a Texas forest in the middle of January. Looks like most of the stuff is still alive, so I don't know if it just stays alive all year down here or what. I'm also noticing this over here. It's like a little baby arch right there. And then this snapped tree with a couple trees arched under it. There's another snapped one through that way. You can kind of see right in the middle of the screen there. That's cool. Could someone have done that? This is a pretty good example here of what most of the forest around here where I am looks like. Well, trees cross like an X. Wonder if they just naturally fell that way. Definitely looks like they were burnt. Is that a big old pile of scat with a bunch of fur mixed in there? Pretty big pile, if that's what it is. A little off the path is a pretty decent sized river. Looks like gator heaven. I don't know what they do in the winter. Not looking to find out either. So far I've been here one night, and one reason for this hike is there's an area down a trail where I saw somebody mentioned is an interesting spot. I think they said that they've had activity there, so we'll see what that's like. A bit odd here. There's an uprooted tree right there, and then that one is uprooted. You can see it down there. But then this one here, it snapped right there, and then the top of it crossed back over this way. It's kind of odd. Strong part of the tree right there. I don't know what would have made it snap like that and then come back that way. But I don't know. Maybe it did. Or maybe somebody snapped it and put them across the trail. Taking note that there's another uprooted tree across the trail, just a short distance from that other one. Right after I said I was getting close to an area that someone said they had a Sasquatch experience. Maybe a coincidence? Don't know. Taking note of that leaning tree as well. I don't know if they always mean something ever, but I haven't seen one of those, because I usually take note of them when I'm hiking for a while. I think I've hiked almost 2 miles. That's the first one. Kind of just looking down there and saw that right there, a little broken tree possibly. I also noticed it got real quiet around here. I think that's the first tree I've seen that was broken about 6 feet up or so. That doesn't have anything on top of it. And once again, it's across the trail along with another one right behind it. Once again, take a note. Does it all add up to something? Possibly. There was also a burn. You can see some of those trees that way. Could that have caused that to break? And that looks like a couple deer prints. First ones I've seen. One there, I think, and one there. This whole time, I haven't seen anything anywhere. Hasn't been a lot of soft dirt either, but good sign. A little wildlife around here. There's another tree across the path, just a little ways further. Couple little birdies right there. I don't know if I can zoom in on them. Right there. I'm not seeing broken trees off in the distance, at least where I've been looking, like 5-6 feet up or whatever. Could it mean something? Just after I said that, there's two. I don't see anything on top of that one. This one here, there is that, so maybe it was caused by that. But I really hadn't seen any of these off in the distance. Just a couple across the path. And just a little bit further, is that 2 more here? Looks like it. I don't think I've stepped over any trees for like 1.5 miles or so. And now there's been 5 or 6 pretty close together. I don't know where that one came from. I'm looking up. Maybe it's okay. Yeah, it broke right at the stump right there. When I was in Land Between the Lakes, I didn't actually get to Hotel California, but by the looks of it, I'm at the Texas version of it. That's wild. All kinds of graffiti. Look at that. No kidding. Look at that. That's crazy. Look at that. Freaking crazy. Man. The only sound that I heard at that location was something like a cat hiss. Here's that. What's that? I stayed at that spot for 2 nights. Once again, it was very quiet, so I decided to head over to an area that has a lot of reports. And at this place, I did hear a number of howls. I thought some were a bit different. 75 miles an hour. Well, I've been driving for a little while. I'm in another area that there's reports all over the place. I'm noticing the forest looks pretty much the same here as it did where I was. Kind of cool. Kind of looks like an arch. I'm going to check out a place. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to camp yet. Yeah, I stayed at the other place for 2 nights. I didn't hear anything while I was awake. Oh, it's like 2 arches there. That's cool. And then I haven't listened to my recording yet, so we'll see if I heard anything there. Yeah, this area I've heard talked about quite a lot as well, so we will see what happens. There's a campground that I've heard people had experiences at, just all around here. Sun's just going down, but listen how quiet it is here. My first night at camp in a different spot in Texas. It's pretty warm too. It's not like 20 degrees. It's 50 something. Wow. Love going through the forest at night. I've been at this spot for 1 day, 1 night. Lots of howls. They could have all been coyotes, I'm not sure. They definitely all sound coyote-ish. Here's a couple of the howls that stood out the most. You can also see that these ones highlighted here are around the 600 hertz range, which a few people talk about. Whether that means something or not definitive, I don't know, but take a note of that. What you're looking at right now is the tree line where I'm actually editing, and what you're hearing is my little generator. I actually do quite a bit of my editing in the forest, sometimes even uploads when I have enough signal. Little side note, it takes a little bit of effort to keep my stuff powered up and all that if I don't have places to go to plug in, but I have figured out how to edit out in the woods, which is pretty cool. yeah, I'm taking a drive to charge up the battery since I hung out at the camp all day, opening and closing the doors and stuff, and also to just warm up a bit. And of course, whenever I'm driving around, I'm always hoping I'll see something. Once again, I recorded a number of howls. I thought a few of them were a bit odd. The first ones, once again, I feel are coyote-ish. Maybe they are coyotes. The second ones, not so much. I felt they were a bit deeper than coyotes. I actually took a little time to look up wolves and such, even though they say there's no wolves in Texas. Granted, some people post up that they have seen them, just like lots of places where they talk about bears and mountain lions and wolves, where the authorities say there are none, and then people claim that they have seen them. Even having listened to a few different wolf calls, these sounded a little different than wolves too. I thought they kind of, I don't know how to explain it, like almost beefier than a wolf, if that makes sense. I'll see what you guys think. Maybe they're wolves, maybe they're big coyotes, maybe something else. It's worth noting, strange coincidence, but recently I was listening to a Sasquatch encounter on Sasquatch Theory. The individual saw an actual Sasquatch. I believe he was with his brother and father hunting. And they saw the Sasquatch, and after, as they were leaving, I believe, they heard the Sasquatch make what they described as like a long wolf howl. So that's kind of an interesting little tidbit to add in. It's got me thinking. I don't know for sure what I recorded, but I'm always learning, listening to people's stories and taking notes. More pieces of the puzzle. The one detail that I do recall from that story is that it also happened to be in East Texas. Alright, here's that recording. Here's a single red wolf howl for comparison. Granted, there are more wolves than just red wolves out there too. I actually listened to a few gray wolf howls, and they seemed a little different to me still. And also, the first howl in the ones that I recorded is perfectly flat and goes on for 8 seconds. I did find some wolf howls that went longer than 8 seconds. That doesn't seem to be the case with coyotes, at least what I've experienced. I haven't heard them go on for more than maybe 3, 4, 5 seconds with a howl. It was these specific vocals that I'm showing you right here that I was thinking, particularly when I said that I thought they sounded a little more beefy than a wolf. Possibly bigger lungs, I'm thinking. Anyways, here's those particular vocals once again. It's these two deeper vocals in particular that I'm honing in on, even though there's a higher pitched one in the background. You can also see those dip down into the 400 hertz range. A number of people point out the 600 hertz range as being one suspected of Sasquatch sounds, and this carries down even deeper than that. Wolves are capable of that, but from what I have looked up, it doesn't seem that coyotes dip down into vocals that deep. Anyways, here's those final howls once again for you to listen to, and you let me know what you think. One other thing I noticed about those howls, the first one, the long one that went on for about 8 seconds, there was a bit of a deep percussive sort of bass in the middle of it, which I'll circle that here. You'll need headphones to pick that up. It's almost like wind hit my mic, even though the mic was inside of my tent, so there's no wind hitting it. Anyways, what do you guys think? Did I record something? Or do you think those vocals were something natural, like a coyote? Let me know if you guys have any ideas of any other places for me to explore, and thank you for watching.